What is up, people? This your boy Stankysocks. I ain't in no beat making mood right now. I did have been picking up some CDs of lately. So we got another CD pickup, some hip hop CDs, some instrumental CDs, hip hop instrumentals, and some other things as well. First up on docket, we have Blockhead music by Cave Light. Really dope instrumentals. I like Blockhead, man. I like just how he blends sounds and stuff together. Like as a producer, like I wish I could do stuff like this. Like that's the thing. It's like we all have our own little styles of doing what we do, but you can always appreciate another producer, beat maker, hip hop guy, and just his sound and how he makes music. It sounds like like a soundtrack to like life. That's what I kind of like. With Blockhead's music by Cave Light, definitely something I love rocking. My favorite track though is what is it? It is I think it's no, I know what it is. It's number three, Coniferous United. Definitely, I this is something I definitely love bumping. This is like more like when I go walking. Like sometimes I go walking or I have to walk to work and I walk a long way. It's just something that kind of makes that walk not seem as long and somewhat enjoyable. Next up, we have one of my favorite hip hop artists. Is every time this man puts out an album, I go ahead, I make sure to buy his albums. Not burn, not dub. I'm glad that he does put out physical copies, and this is Apathy, Where the River Meets the Sea. Oh man, this shit is so fucking dope, man. It's like every Apathy album just gets doper and doper and doper. I love the title track, Where the River Meets the Sea. Like all the songs are like based on water, but it's talking about his father. His father had passed some years back. I know on the last album, like the song Obi-Wan Kenobi, where he's making a song about his dad, and this is kind of like a continuation of basically all these songs is talking about his father, and how his father was a big inspiration in his life, and basically water themed. I really love this CD. This was definitely worth the pickup, and definitely I love listening to it. Like I said, my favorite track is when the ocean where the river meets the sea. I like Jonathan Livingston, Siegel. I like Don't F Around. I like Public, yeah, PSE. It's got quite a few songs that I really love. I love Underwater and Mermaid music. Like definitely this Apathy is bumping. Definitely something I really love. Next up is an artist that has been growing on me. I said I had in the last CD pickup I had showed one of his CDs that I had recently bought. This is one of his other CDs. This is Sky Zoo, Music for My Friends. I've been sleeping on Sky Zoo, so I like and I know how this is dope, man. I said from always all day always every day everything's a sale. CA Key with Jada Kiss, definitely high in the Jada Kiss because of the locks and Dipset, verses. Money Makes Us Happy with Black Thought. Like a lot of the songs on here is just straight up dope, man. It's just like the beats this guy Zoo be rapping on, man. I said it'd be just dope, man. It's like I'm like I just bumping. It's just like yeah, this is something I definitely can get down to. Next CD that I picked up, this is an oldie but goodie. Definitely, I didn't have this CD or on cassette back in the day. My brother did, and I dubbed it off of his cassette. And this is Outkast Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music. Um, I used to bump this a lot. I think this came out when I just started high school. I think yeah, I had just started high school, so this had came out. I used to bump shoot the title track Southern Catalytic music, Call of the Wild, Players Ball, Claiming True, Funky Ride, Get up and get out. True that, and crumbling herb. Which my favorite version is the radio edit. Like when they used to do like the radio edits of like certain songs, like they couldn't talk about weed or something like rolling down the street, smoking, smoking, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. Or for crumbling herb, it was like um, brother brothers killing brothers, I don't understand. It's the master plan. Just crumbling. I wish I could get the radio edit of that. It was just funny. Just how you couldn't say talk about smoking back in the day, but now you can sit there and on the radio and listen to it like it's nothing. And it's like, hey, this is common. But definitely, this I really did enjoy this as a kid, and I'm you know definitely this was like one of those things. It's like when a new group come out, you're like you don't really know anything about them, and you hear that first single, and Players Ball or whatever, and then you're like the whole album is dope, and it's just like, yeah, I hope that these dudes stick around for a little bit. But definitely nice to have this in the collection of Outkast. I need to build my collection of Outkast. I think I do got AT Aliens, but there's some other ones that I do want as well. I definitely like Aquemini. Next CD we have is I picked up the physical copy of this is Czarface and Metalface presents um, Super What. So it's Czarface and MF Doom. This is their second album. This was recorded before MF Doom passed away. Came out I think this year 2021. Very short album, but I love their production. Like I love the songs. Like everything is just short. This is like under 30 minutes, but I just love the production, how everything loops together. Like I said, I think on another one with the Czarface is that I really love how their production is, and how I that's what I wish I could. My production was more, instead of just having a raw kind of sound, it was more smoothed out like this. Meaning the way I sample and put little clips in, like this is something that's definitely dope. I wish there was more MF Doom on here. Definitely Doom is like one of those MCs that I really really liked. Man, that's like and I first heard Doom, I wanted to get every single thing that Doom was on. Just a fun lyricist. Favorite track on here though is Break Into Action, where Doom got he's rapping for a little bit longer, got some bars, but I just love it. It sounds like a TV commercial kind of like that like Space Holes off of The Mouse and the Mask, but definitely. Speaking of seven, SL and Esoteric. This was off a recommendation, and definitely I had to get the physical copy. I didn't want to get the digital copy. I'll shell out a little bit more and just have to eat some ramen noodles for a while. And this is The Sole Purpose. I was liking this. I was definitely bumping this. I said definitely enjoyed this. I'm glad for the recommendation. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Definitely, just hearing from where they started from to where they currently are, it's just nice to know that they're keeping hip hop. That same rawness in hip hop that they started with is continued on to this day. Next up, we have I think this is a compilation. This is Mellow Music Group Persona. Sound Beautiful Like the Truth. It's just a bunch of artists from Mellow Music Group. This was a very cheap CD. Definitely, I have not listened to every single thing on here. It has, you got Odyssey, you got Kaz on here, you got Open Mike Eagle a couple of times, you got Big Pooh, you got Cool Keith. A lot of the artists that have, albums that are on Mellow Music or put out albums on Mellow Music, you find them on here. You got, Quelle Chris, I like Quelle Chris. Anything, like I'm hoping that he puts out something this year, hopefully. I love just the artists on this label, and it's a really nice CD. So like I said, I haven't got through every single thing because I'm kind of stuck on this song right here, American Religion. I think it's not called American Religion. It's something called different, but it's Open Mike Eagle produced by Odyssey, so I'm kind of stuck on this song. I know there's the video. It's not called. I don't think it's called American Religion. It's called something else. But like the video, it's like like it talks about or Open Mike Eagle is talking about basically like social media and stuff like that. So but definitely I've been stuck on that song to where I haven't been able to listen to everything else. Sometimes you like listen buy an album, you listen to something, and you just get stuck at a song, and it's like and you keep listening to that song over and over again, and then you like sometime later down the road you end up listening to everything else, and you're like, oh man, I should have. How come I didn't listen to it? Because I was listening to this song, and that's how I feel about it. Next CD that I picked up is after the versus battle with Dipset and the Locks. I picked up Cameron Come Home With Me. Because one, I guess before this battle, my mindset was like, look, Dips. Even though I'm not a Dipset fan, I can recognize and say, look, they had hits. I can't sit there and lie and say, well, they didn't have hits back then. Yes, they had hits. My brother was more of a Dipset fan, but I knew I love the beats. I love the beats that they was doing because it was a lot different than a lot of the New York dudes was doing. I'm not so much about like, oh, Cameron wearing pink, but I guess after the versus battle or watching the versus battle and just being so disappointed with the Dipset just not being prepared, not having the full squad impact, or having, you got your squad sitting out in the audience, the other dudes in the audience is kind of like that was really disappointing and heartbreaking because I'm like, in my mind I'm like, Dipset has more hits than what the Locks have, and just how things went down, and the Locks just systematically just breaking them down, and plus with the DJ too, like it's like the combination of the Locks and they DJ, they was just like it was just too much for the Dipset. The Dipset thought they could just go out there, and it's like, look, we in Harlem, we here, MSG and whatever, and we should automatically get this W, but instead they walked home with that L. It made me have a different appreciation for the Locks than I probably did because I haven't listened to a lot of the Lock stuff. I'm not gonna sit there and lie. I mean, I've heard singles and seen videos and stuff like that, but I wasn't deep into the Locks like that. Like I said, or like Dipset, like I wasn't back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, early 2000s or whatever. I wasn't into Dipset, but I was listening to Dipset because of my brother, and but I could also recognize that they had hits. Definitely, this was enjoyable. I mean, I've always liked Cam. I said that out of the people in the Dipset, I've always been a Cam fan. I bought his first couple of CDs. Definitely, I've always liked Cam. Like I always just liked his rapping style, I liked his flow. I liked what he came with. Definitely somebody that was a killer, but on that night of the verses, he wasn't really a killer. He was just a kicker. But all right, next up, all right, we have one of my favorite albums. Like I remember when this tape came out. This came out in September. It was September 28th, 1998. On that day, I had bought three albums. I bought Outkast Aquemini. I bought Tribe Called Quest The Love Movement. And the last album was probably the best out of those two, even though Love Movement was like, Aquemini was good. I love the art of storytelling, and I like Liberation. But this third album that I had bought on that same day of September 28th, 1998, and this was Black Star, the Black Star album. I wish they would come out with the second one, quit, BSing and stuff like that, especially being produced by Madlib. But this one right here, dog, God, every freaking track. I remember just bumping this a lot. Like I used to work at MSU. Like I would wash dishes. Me and my brother both worked on campus. He worked on one side of the campus. I worked on another part of the campus at Michigan State University. And when I would pick him up and stuff or drop him off at work, I would be bumping this all the time. Like I'd be bumping, I would wear out the tape. I think I bought this like 3 or 4 times. This is one of those CDs that I bought like 3 or 4 times. The other two happen to be a Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, and Mad Villainy. I said, but definitely Black Star, man, I could go through it. Definition, redefinition, I really loved. Children's Story was like, okay, I didn't really care for the beat that much on it. Brown Skin Lady, oh damn. I like the way you walk. I like the way you talk. And every time you know that, I love that like that. There she is. She's a brown skin lady. B-boys will be B-boys. Hater players, yeah, yo. That like it's more like a skit or kind of a uh what is it like? Yeah, kind of like more of a skit or like an interlude just before we get to Respiration. I like Respiration, the one that's on the album with Common, but also like the one with Black Thought too that came like it was the single like a remix, the remix B side. Definitely love that. Thieves in the Night. That the it made me read The Bluest Eye, man, and I don't like Toni Morrison like that. But definitely, I love this album. Like I think, like I told you, out of the 3 albums I had bought on September 28th, 1998, this one was the one that really stuck out to me the most. Tribe Called Quest, of course, that being their last album at that time, and it just felt like it was a downer. Like I was a really big Tribe fan, and just like I was disappointed with a lot of the tracks on there, and it wasn't until years later when I went back to listen to the Love Movement that have a different appreciation for it now than I did probably back when I was like 18 years old. Aquemini, like I said, I loved Aquemini just from the get go because the first single me and my brother heard was "Shrimp on the Barbie" or whatever with Raekwon. But yeah, and also Twice in a Lifetime is like the dope posse cut, like just I'm androgynous like Optimus. I was like, yeah, that's like Quali was getting down on this. I mean, this was like at that time, this is like this Most Def and Quali, like they were coming into their own. Like you heard them like on the Ruckus stuff. This is Ruckus Records, but just like sound bombing and stuff like that with like 2000 Seasons and Ultramagnetic B-Boys. But definitely this Black Star has definitely a special place in my heart as far as like hip hop CDs go. And I would definitely, if I'm saying would recommend a CD, if like you're just like you never listened to hip hop or you feel like you want to go back to something back in the day, pick this up. It's cheap. The last album or hip hop CD on this list that I picked up is a couple people that I'm not so much familiar with their work. I just recently heard their work and it made me, want to go buy a CD. And this is Mother Moore and Billy Woods. My first hearing of Billy Woods was on the Blockhead song. I think is Billy Woods, Open Mike Eagle, and Breeze Everflowing. I forgot the name of the song, but that was my first time hearing Billy Woods. And then my next time hearing Billy Woods was on Nicole Chris, where he's not rapping on the song. He's just talking for like a couple of minutes, just as at the end, like as a skit. Mother Moore, I've heard her production, actually just on YouTube, just like kind of, I think she's like really into synthesizers and stuff like that. But just listening to her stuff and then finding out that they made an album together. It's weird. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Like more of like her production is kind of like a stripped down version of I would say LP. Not as like how LP is very complex. And not saying she ain't complex or nothing like that. Not saying that her stuff isn't complex, but LP's production is just like it can go from ugly to beautiful and just kind of you just really, and I'm talking not so much about the Run the Jewels stuff. I'm just talking about more like his Fantastic Damage kind of production, or Cure for Cancer or something like that. that kind of, but her production kind of reminds me of LP, but just more, I would say, and I hate using the word simplistic, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. But her vocals and Billy Woods rapping, this is weird, it's interesting, and it's, I definitely have to listen to this more. I have to definitely listen to this more. But I'm a lot of a couple of the songs that I really like. Rapunzel. I love Rapunzel, and I love what is it? Graffiti Hunts. Like, but definitely this would have to. I'd have to listen to this a little bit more for it to grow on me. But definitely it's a lot different, and that's kind of where I'm looking at is when I'm picking up CDs or listening to music in general, is that, especially hip hop, is that I just want stuff. I don't want everything to sound the same. I know everybody be like, radio and everything sound the same. Yeah, but you sometimes have to dig and do your research and just look for different artists and just listen to their stuff. And even if it's commercial too, I'm not gonna be like sitting there, be one of these people and say, well, I'll never listen to Kanye stuff, his new album, or Drake's, Certified Lover Boy. Hell, if they got it physical, I might buy it, if it's on sale. But definitely so, because you never know what kind of hidden gems that you're going to find. You might find that just one song that you really like. But definitely, or, sometimes just looking for inspiration, just even as a producer, even though I don't make that kind of music, that more commercial, I make more kind of underground experimental kind of hip hop. It's always good just to listen to different people's production, their style, and kind of just figure out why they went this way or how they went this way, or just even when somebody's rhyming, their patterns, their schemes. It's just to understand that, look, hip hop isn't just people just talking. Like, some people might just sit there and think that's what rap is, like in that De La Soul skit. I think it's on Stakes is High, the Stakes is High album. And they have a skit, and where it's just talking. But just being able to, that hip hop can be in so many different forms, whether it's Mother Moore and Billy Woods, to let me see, to Apathy. I said definitely it comes in all kinds of different flavors, and there's something for everybody. So it's not just, you have to feel like, a lot of times I know I'm an older person and we get, oh, I'm not listening to that new stuff. Like, I'm not listening to the baby and stuff like that, or little baby, or your mama baby, or baby mama. But definitely there's always something there.